Okay.
So Daphne, the first time I met Daphne was at the NCLGMA AGM and conference in Prince George this April. And she had shared with us kind of her experience working for the district of Fort Edward and having almost 100% change of staff, and her use of AI as a tool to assist in that transformation. And can I just actually get everybody to mute for me, please? That would be lovely. Thank you. And at the time, the regional district of Bulkley Chaco, whom I work for, and I'm the Deputy Director of Corporate Services, along with being the Secretary for the NCLGMA. We were also going through a process of forming an AI committee and drafting AI policy. And so we utilized some of the information that Daphne shared along with the District of Port Edwards, whom she worked for, their policy, and we utilized that information to draft our own. We also had Daphne come and do a workshop for our staff. And so she kindly offered to help us out here at the NCLGMA to provide a workshop on AI and the elections for us and this webinar. So welcome, Daphne, and I'll let you take it away. Thank you.
Thank you. So, yeah, thank you so much for having me. We are recording this session, so if you don't want to be on camera, please feel free to put your camera off. At the end, I'm going to ask if we can maybe just take a photo all together. If you're okay with that, I would love it. If not, totally fine. So let's get cracking. If you do have questions, we do have some times at the end to go through the questions. So yeah. All right. So what we're going to cover today is we're going to chat about AI and the elections from the administrative perspective. What is the privacy and security aspect of it? Some key election legislation and how do we get to learn it? What do we need to know about it? Co-pilot agent techniques. We're going to chat about automated nomination forms, budgeting, and staffing. Does that sound good? Any kind of communication will be amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. All righty. So first of all, just a little bit about me. As you know, my name is Daphne Thomson, and you can see kind of where I'm originally from. I have met a bunch of you already through various other workshops and things like that, but I absolutely love anything outdoorsy. I love sumo wrestling and Formula One, and I'm currently doing my MBA in AI, which is pretty awesome for you guys because this is kind of what we're doing right now. And of course, I geek out on AI, which you all know. So what is AI? And I know we've had this question a few times, but just if you put yourself off mute, what is AI? Anyone, that would be really great. Anyone, what do you think is AI? Denise, you are right on my screen, so I'm going to just take on you.
Machine learning?
It is machine learning? Yeah, definitely. What else?
It's like a giant search engine.
It is a massive search engine. Yes, it's a huge, huge database. Definitely. But so what can AI do?
Performs tasks that normally require human intelligence or human input.
Love that. Yes. So exactly that. AI is a tool that mimics human behavior. It is not human. It is a tool that mimics human behavior. It can be analytical to analyze certain things. It can be predictive, meaning that it takes like a weather app, taking a whole bunch of past data, seeing how it responds, and then hopefully kind of predict what the future could look like based on past data. It can be generative, like we all use it. Please draft a support letter of this, please draft that, and then we become the editors. But the key is, it is a tool. It is not human. It's very similar to how you would use Grammarly, or how you would use Canva, or how you would use Google Maps. Does that make sense? It is a tool that mimics human behavior. It is not human. So what are some of the misconceptions? Do we think that AI will take your job?
I used to before I didn't know about it.
All right, okay. That's very fair, very fair. Wendy, what do you think?
Sorry, Daphne. I did at first as well. I definitely had a lot of fears. Since we've worked through our process, I think it can be an amazing tool, and I've decided to embrace it as that tool and use that as a strength to move, what we do and create those efficiencies that we have been searching for, that we can't always find with personnel or just employees. We just, can't keep always hiring people. So sometimes we can use the tools at our fingertips.
Exactly. I'm so glad that you said you're embracing it. That makes me so happy. Tab Young says, I think it's a great assistant help in my job. Yes, it is. It is a tool that helps us the same way as everything else of what we use in our computers. So the bottom line is that the District of Mackenzie says, I think it's a great tool, but I wish it didn't take so much resources to use. We're not going to touch on that one today, but yes, that is a very good topic of debate. So the fact is, AI is part of everything that we do right now. It's literally built into Windows 11. So we can't escape it. It is part of on Netflix going, we think that these are the shows that you might like. All the algorithms on Facebook that shows you, oh, I think you'd like this. These are all AI based, so we can't escape it. The fact is, someone that uses AI to the point of actually a part of their job, they will probably take the job of someone that doesn't use AI. The same way as what someone that had Word, Excel, PowerPoint, those kind of skill sets would get preference above someone that didn't have the computer literacy. Does that make sense? Yes, no, I don't know. Thank you, Laura. Tab. All right, but do you think that AI is always right?
No.
Oh, heck no. AI smokes shrooms on the weekends. It goes way out. It can be sexist. It can be biased. It can be racist. It can be any kind of ist that you can think of. Because it all depends on where it gets its sources from. So if it gets its sources from a place where there is bias, of course it's going to produce that. But that is also, again, a very big debate because the person that put that information in might have been biased. So how do we combat that? The point is, we just need to make as sure as we possibly can to be unbiased as much as we can. And be sure that we try and double check the sources as much as we can. Again, when something goes wrong, is it going to be AI that's getting in trouble, or is it going to be the human that gets in trouble?
It's going to be the human.
Definitely, it's always going to be the human. So can we fully trust AI just to give all of our decision-making power away? No, it's going to be silly. Now, do you think you need to be a tech expert to use AI?
No.
No, we're going to have fun. I'm going to show you today. Heck no, tech expert. And we're going to play around. And I'm so glad that we're actually online today so that as we work through things, please have your Copilot or whichever system that you use open on the side that you can do it with us. All righty. So AI and privacy. Luckily now, with our Copilot and ChatGPT that is kind of combined, which means that Copilot has got the brain of ChatGPT, because we all know that Copilot used to be that That, you know, that just odd friend that we all love, but is a little odd. Copilot used to be that friend. Now, with the brain of ChatGPT, it's elevated a little bit. So within the secure framework of our Microsoft licensing, we can rest assured of what we put in there. It won't be fed anywhere else, especially if you're only dealing with your account. It's as if you are working on your own Word, your own Excel, your own everything. So it is secure and safe. The data residency is still in Canada, all of those type of things. When you go outside of Copilot, that's more when the risks come involved. However, in 2022, BC did have a change in their legislation, which said we can host data anywhere in the world if, one, a data or an impact assessment, a private impact assessment has been completed, one. Two, a risk assessment has been completed, and three, your CAO says yes. So if those three things come, we can do whatever we want. We're going to touch on a little bit the Local Government Act, the Community Charter, and then the FIPA Act, and we can touch on what the best practices are, how to minimize the data that you do put on there, or how to make use of AI to retract some of those data. But please keep in mind that who is the human in this? And what is the tool? You are the human. You are still the one that will get the flack if something goes wrong, and you are the one that is responsible at the end. So AI is an amazing tool, but you stay the human. Keep that in mind. All right, we're going to chat a little bit about the law that shaped it, and we don't have to go deep into that.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
However, let me go one back. It is sometimes a little bit challenging to figure out exactly what is the legislation, what is the new things that are coming up, how do I need to understand it? And then when legal eventually does a seminar on that, it could be a little bit late, or you're not prepared to ask questions, right? So I want to show you one of the apps that we use that will help you to learn the legislation a little bit better. Now, some of you have seen this already, but it's called LM Notebook. This is what it looks like. When you start with LM Notebook, it is a free app online on Google. You feed it the information that you want to understand. So I literally just fed it here, part 3 of the local government. That is what the, this is what the part that governs our elections. I asked it over here to give us a little bit of a deep dive. You can do brief, critique, debate. I asked it to focus on the overall role. You can put in whatever it is that you want and then generate. And this is what comes out.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're peeling back the layers on something that's usually, well, almost invisible. The strict foundational rules that actually govern our local democracy.
Right.
We are not here to debate policy or, personalities. We are diving into the complex procedural rules that dictate how elections actually run in our municipalities and regional districts.
Exactly. I mean, when you go to cast your vote for a city councilor or a mayor, you're taking part in a process that's governed by this incredibly specific, sometimes really dense legislation.
Yeah.
And this deep dive is all about translating that statutory language, what the government just calls the rules for electors and elections, into, practical insights.
So our
Did you think this will help you understand the legislation, or just maybe get a refresher for those veterans in there? It's pretty cool, right? Well, of course, I geek out on it. I absolutely love it. And this is how I actually prepared for our presentation today. I listened to this, I created it. I also fed in some of the manuals that we have from the LGMA. Fit that in here as well so that I can get a better understanding, and I learn better by listening. So this is a tool that can help you understand more, get an overview of what is, and you can ask it specific questions, but be careful. You feed the resources. Make sure that whatever you feed it is accurate and comes from a reputable source. Then you trust what is going on there. Make sense? Awesomeness. So let's carry on. And I'm about back to share this one.
welcome back.
Okay, so what we're going to do next is we are going to go into Copilot. And if you have your Copilot open, please do this with us. We're going to go into some agent creations in order to help us manage the elections that are coming up. We're going to see how to create a work plan, making use of AI, and then how to automate some of the tasks and reminders of what we need to do. Does that sound good? Come on, guys. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Awesome. All right, let's get cracking. So the first thing is, please open up your Copilots. I'm going to open up mine right now, and I'll show you what we do. There's still people coming. Let me just admit them here. There we go. And then we're sharing a different tab. Stop sharing, and we're sharing a new one. This one. Alrighty. So first of all, what we want to do is we want to create an agent. So everyone that's on your teams, you go to the side where it says Copilot. Click on Copilot. Right on top, there's going to be a little bash. Make sure that that is open. So if it was closed, make sure that it's open and go to create an agent. What we want to do here is every agent that we create in Copilot, they are becoming our little expert and our assistant. This is our actual co-pilot doing this. So what do we want to do? We want to create an elections agent. Okay. It's going to ask us now for the name of it. So we're just going to say whatever. Remember, you can name it anything that you wanted. You can name it your Buckley Valley agent or district agent or whatever it is. Okay, so we're going to just say elections assistant. There we go. Now it's going to ask us, well, what do we need to have in here? What is the role of this specific agent? So it's going to guide and assist in any election processes for BC, Canada. This is pretty important, the location and what it is for, because that's where you set your parameters. Okay, now it's going to ask us for various links that we need to add or where it gets its info from. Try again. Come on. So guide in processes for elections in Canada. I just did this earlier. Now it's saying it's funny things. See, Copilot still sometimes have that special friend. There we go. Cool. Agent got it. We're done. Now what we want to do is we're going to give it all the information where it gets from. So here you start giving it part 3 of the elections, the Local Government Act, because that's where it gets majority of its information from. Upload any of the guides and the manuals that we might have from the LGMA, your previous work stuff that you have, as much information that we can for this specific agent. And yours will be probably a little bit different from town or from district, but this is where you get majority of your agent learning. So now we are teaching this agent what we want it to do and where it gets its sources from. Does that make sense? Yes? Thumbs up? Awesomeness. And then we just create our agent. Super. Now we have our assistant agent. Okay. One of the key things that is very important within this specific, so we can go to our agent, and here we can share it with specific people in our organization, with anyone in our organization. So if you've got your deputy election officer or your CAO or whoever needs to be part of this, we can share it across information. I would just make sure that the person that's in control of teaching this agent should be the election officer. So that responsibility should be held with the actual election officer. So now I'm just going to be on you. Okay, and we go to our agent. Alrighty, so now we want to start asking the questions. The big deal that we always have is the dates, because there's so many different dates involved in what needs to be when. We have a really great resource that I think Alice actually sent me. No, not the Burns Lake one. It is the dates. It is on my desktop. Yes. So let me just find it. It's not that one. Of course, let's go through my entire desktop so that you know what is on there as well, because that's valuable information. I just had it. There we go. Elections keys. So these are the dates that we got from the government. So I would say learn from these dates. So keep that in mind. Now I'm going to ask it, based on all the information that it already has, so these are 2022 dates. We'll have the 2026 dates probably very soon, but this is just how you do it. The updated versions you will feed into yours. All right, now what we want to say is create a work plan aligned with these specific dates for me to follow in 2026. Now, let's not say that. It might going to ask me questions. All right, so now it's going to do a structured word plan. Pre-elections, what we need to do. What is the deadline? What is our next thing? Phase 2, the campaign period, the actions, everything that we need to do, right? It's going to give me all of that. It is very helpful if you already have a previous worksheet that you've done to fill that in here as well, because then it learns better. The more quality input you give it, the better quality output you get. Garbage in, garbage out. Quality in, quality out. All right. It's going to give us our work plan now. And I'm going to say, please put this into a Excel spreadsheet with assigned roles. So saying who's responsible for it. So is it going to be the CAO? Yes, I know. But he can do the... For some reason, I found these days that depends on the licensing you have with Copilot, it gives you this. I can't directly generate Excel file, or I can't directly do this. This depends on the licensing that you have. If you are on the upper licensing, I think it's $30 a month. These generations can be done within Copilot itself. If not, here is your whole election work plan, and you can copy and paste it into Excel. What has to be done, voting results, all of it. Okay, so I have done this already, and now I want to show you what we do with our Excel spreadsheet to make this better. Does this, so far, are we all together? Does it make sense? We've got our work plan. We know how to make it a little easier. There's dates involved. There's people responsible for it. So we got a plan to follow. Yay! And it didn't take us an hour. It literally took us, well, we're 24 minutes into this one. Awesome, right? Okay, let's carry on. Yeah, I'm going to stop sharing this screen. I'm going to open up my next screen. Come on, guys. All right, well, let's just see what happens. Okay, we can go back to this one. No, it didn't change, so I'm going to just stop presenting and share again. Share my entire screen. This one. All righty. Okay. Now, you've seen me talk about Monday.com before, right? This is a project management system. What I've done is I've literally uploaded that Excel spreadsheet into Monday.com. The reason why I did that is because now we can create our actual work plan that works for us. Okay. First of all, we've got our item, kickoff election timeline. Who's responsibility for that? We just said the CAO is responsible for that. So now I can add our CAO, for example. When he has to start about it, he needs to start on the 8th of January. When is the due date? Is the 15th of January. So what I want to do here is as he starts working on it, he can say he's working on it, right? We can add all of our files that we need. This is, I have to add, this is a program that the data is residents in the USA. Again, remember, we can date it everywhere. But for this one, because it's procedural, there is no privacy information on here. It is literally procedural. We can use it as for what it is meant to be. We're not saying this person does that. This is their information. Those elections or the candidate information, we don't add here because that's private information. All right. If we have any files that is kickoff confirmation, anything that we need, we can add it here. Any notes, January. Now we can move forward on all of this. What are some of the notes that we want to add? Well, confirm assumption nomination period in election time. So that's what we need to do. As we start completing this and we start talking a little bit more, let's say, well, our CEO delegated this to Wendy. So Wendy is now in charge of the kickoff meeting. So he can add stuff here to say, hey, Wendy, kickoff is on January 8th. Please confirm the venue, whatever the thing is like that. Okay, we updated. We can tag Wendy. Wendy has that update. Wendy can now be added here as well. Wendy tagged in this task so we know that she's part of it. Okay. But now let's say we are on recruitment plan for the elections. Now there's a whole bunch of things that's already been happening. What I want to do is I want to add a field, and I want to do an AI field. We want to do custom AI prompts. And what we're going to do is we want to summarize whatever is in our inputs. So input, we want to summarize. So summarize all updates. Updates, yes, from the input, from our update bubbles. Cool. Apply to 24. It's being updated. Now it's already giving a short bio of what we need to do in there. And if there were already discussions happening, you just want a quick review of, okay, where are we on this project? What is happening? We have this quick summary. Apply to all 42. Awesome. It's been done. And good. Save. Where do we put that? So here is that. Come on, we just need to save it. I like to have these prompts right next to the bubble so that I know what is happening there. So I like to have my prompts in here. Yes, customize. We're putting in the summaries of the input of the updates. There we go. It might just take a minute until that button comes on. We save. We don't have to wait for it, but this is how you do the summary part with AI in this specific field. There's more that you can do because it's a custom AI prompt. Okay, now, all right, so now you're going to ask me, well, what's the difference between this and an Excel spreadsheet, right? Ooh, but let me show you. So first of all, I want to click on automate. Scratch, there's a whole bunch of different things that we can do, but if we automate something, so when this happens, when a date arrives, so which date arrived, the start date, for example, if you want to have a start date arrives, what do? We want to change the status, and we want to change it to do something. So change the status or add a column. The biggest thing that I usually want to do is instead of changing the status is, come on, go back when this happens. So let's just start again. Automation. When we get to the start date, I usually want to know at least 2 days or 3 days, let's say 5 days before this happens, that I know in my head I need to start working on this. Okay, so now I'll get a notification 5 days before the start date of doing something. Then when that happens, I want to set my status to working on it. Okay, create automation. I can even ask, add it. So when this also happens, I want to get a notify. So a notification. So, hey, we are starting this section in about 5 days. You ready for a quick check-in? You can put this anything that you want to start notifying, hey, in 5 days, we need to start doing this thing. Are we ready for it? Done. Notify someone. Well, currently it's either the team member, whatever. Right now it's me. Okay, and then we create the automation. Does that make sense? So you can put in all the rules that you want for this. You can make it, for example, if it's easier for you to say when the due date is, when this needs to be done. We make use of this specifically also in our policies and bylaw records management to say, hey, this bylaw needs to be updated when, or our agreements, hey, this agreement will expire in 4 months. Get the notification to start working on it. So this is how we work the work plan to make sure that all of our lists are up here, all of the data that we need to do. We have the person that's responsible for it. We have our communication part of this. We have our AI prompts that will help. Who's the assigned person or department? What is the status of it? When do we need to start working on it? The big dates on these ones, sorry, are the bylaw dates. If we need to update our bylaws, when do that needs to happen? So instead of having it all written out, we have told our agent when that has to happen. Our agent helped us to create this work plan. Of course, please go double check it. Make sure that everything is just fine. It is a tool. It is a machine. It can have little glitches, but it's a really, really good starting point to help you, especially if you don't have something like this before. When is the due date? And of course, any kind of files that you want, when we need to do something. So now your whole elections for next year is done. You know exactly when you have to do what and if there's any notes. Do we have any questions about this? Any questions about our Copilot agent creation?
I do, Daphne. Thank you. Sorry. Someone
Go
else?
ahead.
Okay. I was trying to create my agent, but I don't have a way to upload documents. It's because of my subscription type.
That is one. However, you can upload. When we do bylaws, I'll show you how to update it without, or upload without having the added subscription.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And Alice,
Mm.
no, but Alice just asked if this will be, if Monday.com is the only way to do it. No, of course not. This is just the preferred version. Please do not focus on the actual platform, but focus on the way that AI is helping you do this. I like Monday, but you also get Trello, you get Microsoft project management too, that does exactly the same thing. It's just a little bit more Microsofty, if for lack of better words. It's a little bit more complicated. We have a few other questions. Where's my mouse? There we go. Does that answer your question, Alice?
Yes, it does, Daphne. Thank you. I'm hoping for a way I can see the potential here. I'm just hoping for a way that I don't have to add more software and go through another privacy impact assessment, blah, blah, blah. But
So remember, Copilot created this in Excel for you. So you still have that Excel spreadsheet. And what you can do is with the updated or the higher Copilot that you should technically have, the $30 a month, you can then ask it, upload it onto Microsoft Planner and say, create the tasks itself. That works very, very similar. It just doesn't have all the info parts, but it still has the person that's responsible and the dates that it needs to be done. So that's a much simplified method of doing it. So Microsoft Planner does the same, and Copilot can help you do it on that. Denise, we did record this, so I will make the recording available if for later stages. Then Elisa, will there be instructions sent on how to create an election agent? We just went through that, Eileen. So the first one that we did is how to create an agent. If you might have missed that, it will be on the recording for you to rewatch. Is that okay? Awesome. Yeah, now let's carry on. Now we've created a work plan. We've done it on Copilot to know what Copilot helped us create this with all the information that we fed it. It created a massive work plan for us. We get to decide where we want to do it, if it is on Planner, if it is just on Excel, if you want to just do it on your own calendar. Whichever way, you are still the human and you are in control of your decisions and what you want to do next. Okay, so now we've done all of those things. Our work plan is ready. We know what to do next. When you want to do in Copilot, here are some of the prompts that you can take down for it. Is generate a full 2026 elections master work plan using the LGA and LECFA or whatever legislation that you want to use, timelines in Excel. So this is a prompt that you could use. That is very similar to the prompting that I used right now. So take a screenshot, anything, but also play around with it a little bit. Luckily, we do have a lot of time now before the elections actually kick off early next year for you to play around a little bit. Okay, then we've done the Monday. Board integration, AA integration, automation. Like I said, this is just the platform that I like, but you don't have to use it. Like Alice said, we can use Microsoft projects. We can use the planner inside that you're already paying for as well. All of these different things that to make it easier, or just stick to an Excel spreadsheet too that you double check every day. Okay, so automation on election and statutory notices. So Copilot can help us to create all of our notices, drafting of it. Again, who's the human? You are. So whatever Copilot creates, it is still your responsibility to make sure that it is according to legislation. So let's go back to our Copilot. Where is my Copilot now? There we go. So we're still in our election assistant, our agent over here, Copilot. It will always be on the side. Usually if you open it or if you just go to Copilot itself, you might not see it. So just when you open it, it usually looks like this. I do want to encourage you, and then I'm here, to make sure that you have ChatGPT switched on. I just can't see where it is right now. Usually up here, there's a button that says try GPT-5. Please click that. There must have been some kind of update again today. Anyway, we go back to our elections assistant. This agent now has been trained in what we wanted to do. So now let's say, I say please, you don't have to say please, it's a tool, it's a machine. No, okay. Please create a notice of nomination, according to the LGA of BC, Canada. So here it is. What you can do is upload here. So Adriana, this is where you can upload on the plus sign, upload images or add work content. Usually that's the one if it's on your drive, if it's on your SharePoint, that's where it'd be. Upload the templates of the things that you usually have your notices on. Because then the agent will learn what your templates are and will give it to you in the format that you already want. So notice period, election, date, time, nomination period, or eligibility, whatever you want. So here's a template that you can copy and paste. Say, give it to me in a Word template that I can edit. Again, it says Word, but now I can copy and paste. So this helps us with just drafting of the documentation a lot quicker. What we can also do is create a web version and a print version of this. So the same thing is turn this into a web version and see what happens. The point is, again, you are the instructor. Copilot is your assistant. You make the decisions. Copilot does the work. You verify the work. Does that make sense? So if you want to do it in HTML format, here's the code that you can do. And you can basically just ask your IT guys to put this in, the embedded code. Then it is already on your website too. And probably just add who it will has to go to the nomination. Now, let's say we do get some of these nominations back that's filled out. And we don't want all of these documents to be seen anywhere else, or all the privacy information. So now, redact all personal information in this nomination form. So I'm just going to say, again, if you upload the nomination, this is your secure data. It's your secure platform. This is okay to upload it because it's your secure account. It would be the same as if you open it up on Word or if someone emailed it to you. Same kind of process and principles because it is in your secure Copilot. Make sense? We good? Yes? Awesome. Okay. So now we add our forms. Let's just take any document here. Let's just say, for example, this study. And I was going to say now, redact all private information. So decision was made, prepared by, that's redacted. So now it helps us to move forward and not do all the things that we usually have to do, is put in the lines on. So here's a piece, another piece that's been redacted. It helps us with all of these different things. Who was the approvers? Who did what? This is not just the format, but this is how it can help you to speed up these type of information. So now you can give it to your CAO, whoever needs to have the next piece of this pie. And you can go back to your Copilot and now say, this task has been completed. So again, if something happens to you, let's say you win the lotto, you're out, no more elections procedure for you. When we have a process like Monday.com or our planner or anything like that with other colleagues also have access to, it makes the succession and the transition a lot easier. It also makes it so much easier for next time that this happens, because you can export that whole file into an Excel spreadsheet and ask Copilot, hey, please create me a checklist of this. So this was our chat with our dates and the work plan, right? This was our work plan I've created. So now we can't say, let's say we completed, or you just want a quick checklist, is please create a one-pager checklist for me to keep handy. Now you've got your checklist. Click button, done. Copilot is your assistant. It's there to help you and make things quicker and easier for you. The prompting is the key on how you do that. Alrighty, so let's carry on. Now with Bill 13, we can make use of smart forms. We can have digital intake for collection, automated sorting, document management of this, and compliance and checks. This is a little bit more intense. Let me just go one back. Because Copilot can help us with all of these things. To make use of it to create a intake form, for example, I would make use of Power BI or Microsoft's Power Apps. That is where you create the app. Copilot helps you do that. I'm not going to go into that in fully today because that is quite a longer process. But the bottom line of it is everything that we might want to know about the digital intake forms, it will create the form. Automated sorting. So if a person didn't fill out all the information, all the documentation, it will automatically then give it back to the person to redo, or come to you and say this is incomplete for the human to take further actions. It can help us file it automatically in our SharePoint. So who of you have already transferred to the LGMA record keeping system? Have we? Yes, no, maybe? I like those faces. All right. AI, and this makes it very easy if you have already transferred to the LNGA records management system, because with Copilot, it can then automatically save all these nominations and all the intake forms that we get from our website or wherever in the correct folder on our SharePoint drive, which again takes away some of the labor admin. It takes away all of the things of scrubbing and then finding it and then misplacing something, especially if someone filled it out on their hand on paper. This helps us with that. And Power Apps, Microsoft Power Apps, are the ones that make this happen. The Power App creates the digital intake form. It automates the sorting. It creates the document management directly onto our SharePoint side and make sure that we are compliant with everything. So if you're interested in how to do this part specifically, happy to help you at a different stage. Okay. What we can also use these ones for, that's easier, is our Microsoft forms. You're already paying for it. We can do it on Microsoft. It will come to you directly as you are then the person dealing with it. The Power Automate is what we just spoke about, SharePoint organization, or the SharePoint organized candidates. This is also Power BI, or the Power Apps that puts it in there directly. And then Copilot does the checks and compliances and renames things, how we want it to be renamed. So the prompt would be, build a nomination intake form using our bylaw requirements. Make sense? This will take a little bit of time to fill in and to put in and to play around with it. But this is the basic on how AI will help you set up. Yes, frustration will probably set in a little bit because we are using a tool and it does have some sort of glitches, but at the end, it will make your life a lot easier. Now let's chat about our bylaws. So I am very happy to see that Burns Lake is here. Ryan, are you on? I know you confirmed. Is Ryan here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yay! Okay, cool. So I have used you guys as an example. So first of all, go to your Copilot. We have now created a bylaw agent, exactly the same way that we did with all of our agents. Created an agent, bylaw. This agent is helping us draft our bylaws and do deep dives on that. So let's start. The first thing we want to do is I want to start asking it to do a deep dive into the latest legislation of the elections in BC, Canada for 2026. Boom. Okay, now it's going to give us all the information about that. The School Act, everything that's got to do with that. So these are the things that you now need to keep in mind, the key updates. Again, what I always try and do is, here it goes, where to find the official details. There, that's the important part. Double check the sources. So whatever they say here, and make sure that you double checked the sources, where it comes from. Next up, please give up to date bylaws, election bylaws for BC, Canada to review. Okay, so now it's going to do a little bit of a revamp, a deep dive. So provincial elections, political, municipal. No, these are not the ones that we want. Municipal election bylaw. So Prince Rupert is one. Okay. We want more. So please give us, or give at least 3 more up-to-date election bylaws. Okay. In British Columbia. So we've got Government Election Procedure Act. That's also Prince Rupert. No, let's say more. Let's be more specific. So, no from other local governments. Elections. So we got Vancouver sorted. That's where we can find the bylaw. We got Kelowna. There is their bylaw. We got Saanich. That's the link for their bylaw. All right, cool. Now I'm going to ask it is please create an Excel spreadsheet to compare these bylaws with the current updated BC elections legislation, include Bill 13. Yeah, here's a comparison. And here's my comparison table. Okay, so voting method, election bill bylaw, Vancouver bylaw, automated vote count, Kelowna, awesome. Now we've got something to work with, right? What other municipalities do, how the local, what the updated information is, how we want to do a deep dive. We've done our research. We've double checked where the sources come from. Great. Now I'm going to go upload mine. So from here, we go add work content. No, we don't want it from there. Upload files. There we go. I just had it here. Elections. There's the Burns Lake one. So this is their, let's say this is our election bylaw. So now compare my election bylaw with the others and the updated legislation, including Bill 13, and give recommendations. Our bylaw agent is thinking a little bit. It's reading the bylaw. Here, it's compared it, comparison table. So, advance voting, one required, 10th day before. Mail ballot, district deadlines. Now, you've got a checklist to see how your bylaw compares to the Act, Vancouver, Kelowna, and Saanich. Now, what we can do, key gaps. Here are the key gaps that we can address. See it, recommendations that they can give on our bylaw. Awesome. Now let's go. Please draft those amendments for me. Remember, again, who is the human in this? You are. It is still your responsibility to go double check on these things, to go see that what it says is accurate, but at least now you've got somewhere to come from, to work from. So draft amendment bylaw, current section 6.1 requires advance voting day, 10 days before final voting. Replace this. Mail ballot voting, assessment. So here you can have your amended bylaw. Boom, ready. And how long did this take us? Isn't it pretty awesome? Yes, it is freaking amazing. And thank you, Ryan, for allowing me to use your bylaw as an example. I hope this was helpful. Alrighty. So, are we all good with bylaws and what we need to do here? Or how AI can help us with our bylaw creation? Super. Okay. Next one, staffing and training. So, again, now we need to have our training for our staff. We can use Copilot to give us staffing schedules, when they need to do what. Very similar to how we did the work plan. Position descriptions. You are the counting officer, whatever we're going to call their official names, with a description of it. And we can create a schedule of when they need to be where. How many people do we need to have at a specific station? Any kind of procedure that we need to have on this. Because we are training and ongoingly training our Copilot, it is learning as we train it. So from all the legislation and some of the documentation that we get from the LGMA, like the manual and things like that, we feed it in there and it can help us to get training scripts, provide us the training script, a Q&A guide for them. If someone doesn't know where to go, what to do, who's allowed to vote, these are the places where Copilot can help us quite immensely. So create a staffing requirement for advanced dates. So now again, we go back to our elections assistant. Every time we want to do a specific task, keep it to the specific agent. The more we confuse it, or ask here if we ask the election assistant, hey, please create a report on this, it might not be as effective as when we create a reporting agent or a social media agent or this is our privacy officer. Make sense? So one task, one agent. So here, create a Q&A for staff administering the advance election day. Okay, voting day. The key is again to double check that it is in British Columbia, that it doesn't go anywhere else. What time the advance send polling? You can give that information. What is eligible voting? 18 years or older, must be Canadian citizen. How do they check if they're Canadian citizen? Must be a resident of BC at least 6 months before. How do we check that? Do we have a procedure to look at that? What identification does a voter need to have? These are things. So this is very helpful. And now, again, as you create these documents, go back to your monday.com and mark it up as completed. Save it into your LGMA file, your records management, SharePoint, wherever you do it, so that you've got reference for next year. Because next year, or not next year, next time, or when you have a by-election, these documentation is super valuable. If you already have this, upload it and say, upload all your work from here and just say, please amend it or modernize it to 2026. So then it'll give it all back to you without you having to go every step of the way, rewording, rethinking, redoing, and it will give it to you back in the format that you also like. Make sense? Yes. Awesome. Okay, let's carry on. As you can see, I geek out on this. I like this. It's pretty awesome. Now, budgeting. AI and budgeting. So, budgeting is always a big deal. Now that Copilot is in your Excel and inside of your windows, what we can do is we can ask it to create us a budget. So, right now, because of the licensing, which majority of us don't have right now, again, Copilot has got two different spheres. It is the one that we get as part of our normal licensing, the free version, but it's not actually free because you kind of pay for it. It doesn't feed into the web, so be fine with that. And then the advanced version or the paid version, which is then the part where all of these are inside of your actual documentation. You would probably see Copilot already in your Word, in your Excel, in your Outlook already. That's where it is. So Copilot passed their CPA exam. ChatGPT did better, but Copilot also passed their CPA exam. So what does that help us right now? We are able now to do our budgeting for this coming election year. We can get our variance reports, our trend analysis, anything that we need for it. But the biggest deal is we need now to create a budget for it. You didn't get the sound?
No.
Oh my goodness. All right. I will, if we have time later, I could show it again on YouTube itself. And we tested this. Oh my goodness. Anyway, it just shows you what Copilot can do within Excel itself. Let me just see here quickly. So YouTube. There we go. Microsoft Excel Copilot. It's not that one. It's not that one. Here it is. Okay, I need to stop. I'll just stop sharing and then reshare because then it works.
Introducing agent mode in Excel, unlocking the full power of Excel for everyone. In Excel, start with a prompt, and Copilot gets to work while you steer and guide. Copilot explains its approach and, using its Excel expertise, applies the right formulas and charts. In just a couple of minutes, you get a full summary of key insights and validation steps to give you confidence in its work. Only Copilot speaks Excel natively. And with agent mode, Copilot builds Excel objects like table structures, formula syntax, and pivot tables. This means you can directly manipulate the grid yourself or iterate with Copilot to make adjustments. Try agent mode in Excel today and start vibe working with Copilot.
I'm glad it worked then. So let's go back. That's pretty cool, right? The Copilot can help us with this too. So let's go to our Copilot and test it out. For our budgeting, would you guys be responsible for your budgeting, or would finance be responsible for your budgeting? Seems like you are directly. Okay. Entire screen. There we go. Sorry, Adriana, you had a question.
No, it was a mistake. I just clicked.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry.
Nice. So we go back to our elections assistant. Okay. Now here, because we're using this for elections, you can use it in your election assistant, or you can create a finance assistant, like in a finance agent that is trained on the finance part. So technically, the finance agent would be a better agent to do it with because it is financially oriented, trained, and it will learn from where you are and what the type of budgeting that you would be doing. So that would be the better option. But for now, let's just use this one as an example. If you don't have a budget, let's first start. If you do have a budget already from 2022, please upload it. So upload it here and say, I'm just going to put it as an example. So read and learn from the example. Example. Election budget for Burns Lake in 2022. Budget. There we go. So here's the example budget that we're just using. Cost breakdown, staff, whatever, and this was 2022. Okay. If you can get budgets from surrounding municipalities for 2022, or even now that is your same size, your same area, please upload it here as well and say, please, same prompt. Learn and read from this election one. Analyze it. Okay, it will come out. Next step would go. Adjust these numbers for 2026. Now, again, you can do this directly in Excel as well. This is a 3 to 5 year per year due to inflation. So total cost estimate is now 40,000 as per this example that we created. Personnel, voting material, facilities. And remember, you can now ask it more info. This is a Copilot. please share where you got all the numbers from in order to double check. Is this actually accurate? Where do I get it? So, Mathori, BC elections. Typical cost for smaller municipalities. Inflation cost. Now, these are the prompts that you can use in order to make this build up your budget. The best part is still is if you can get surrounding municipalities, upload here, learn and analyze it, and then use that as a basis for the 2026 budget. So you can do this directly in Excel or on your Copilot here. But does this at least give you a starting point to create an accurate, semi-accurate budget for 2026? And how quick was this to do it? Now, various municipalities will have different aspects to think of for this budgeting. They'll, for example, my other voting materials or the facilities and equipment. The facilities might be more. Communication and advertising. You will know a little bit better in your environment and in your municipality what that is, but this is how you make use of it in order to do your municipality and make it work for you. Again, you are the human, not the machine. The tool is there to help me. Okay, let's see what this one does. Show me where to find the official Burns Lake election budget. Oh, that's interesting. Here's the access. So you can get these budgets online as well and upload it. Okay, so we're good with budgeting. How to use Copilot for budgeting as well. Yes, yes. Okay, let's carry on. All right, so now we come to the social media part or the advertising part of this. Again, specifically for smaller communities, we are jack of all trades when it comes to this. You have to do the advertising, the social media, the everything. Now, there's various ways that we can use video content in this to communicate, for example, that, hey, we're starting to get our election procedure on. We are starting to take nominations, get your nominations in, whatever the thing might be. I want to show you some of the videos that I created on Canva. Do you guys use Canva? Tab uses Canva, Maureen, Buckley, awesome. Dawn, not so much. All right, so Canva is the most used app thus far. You can do it directly on Copilot as well. It's just not as nice, but Copilot itself can do it too. So this is just an example for you to see how we can use Copilot for video. I don't know why it doesn't play the sound now. Okay, but that was the one video and it did have sound. Let's see if you can see the next one. Wait, I know what the problem is. I will show, should be working now. This one, the tab. Okay, let's try again.
Mark your calendars. 2026 is the year. An event of global significance is coming.
Okay, so that was a short prompt in Canva that created this video, and it kind of looks pretty cool. Now, I refined the prompt.
Your voice matters in our community. The 2026 local elections are coming up, and now.
So how long do you think that took me? Less than 10 seconds. These were seconds, it wasn't even minutes to create that. So when we do these type of communication, it is kind of evergreen. We can use it all the time. It doesn't look too bad, meaning it doesn't look like an amateur did it. It is good for us to use in the smaller communities. And we can now use this as anything that we want to create to start communicating with our audience. Coliseum is another platform that I really like. That's easy to use, and the freebies on it is pretty good too. Okay, so Canva is I used for this one, but let's go back to our agent now. Let's go back to our Copilot agent, because what we have to do now is we have to start getting our social media content on, right? No, go back to this one. Where is our Copilot? Go back to Copilot. There we go. Okay. So again, I would rather make use of a create a new agent and teach our agent on social media, because it will start getting to know your tone of voice. What are the things, how you say certain things? What are the wording that you would use? What is the wording that you would stay away from? All of those type of things that is unique to your municipality. Okay, just for now, we're going to use our election 1-2. Again, rather create a social media or a advertising agent. So we are now starting to announce that nominations for the local election is open. Create for posts for Facebook and LinkedIn. Here are some sample posts. Nominations are open. Thinking. So in my opinion, this looks very AI. So I'm not a big fan of the way that it looks with the check marks, the EM dash, all of that. The emojis is usually a big giveaway too. All right, well, now we've got content to work from. So how do we refine this? Okay. This looks way too much like AI did it. Make it more personable. Persona. You can see this. English is my second language. Please take note. I get more personal. Luckily, Copilot understands my lack of spelling. All right, make it more personal, softer with a hint of wit. No EM dashes. No emojis. Speak to as if you are speaking to a neighbor. Nominations for the local. Yes, this is much better. I like to have the shape and happen, Steve deadline. Now it makes sense. All right. Add hashtags. Oh, wait, it's still thinking. Add hashtags. What hashtags do we want to have in this? Okay, Prince Rupert votes, leadership, whatever the thing might be. Awesome. How did this help you now in creating your advertising campaign for it? Remember, you can now add additional info to direct them to a specific landing page on your website on where you want them to fill out the forms. Or you can give more information in your prompt to say exactly what you want to say. So it could be nomination time now, or it could be advanced voting dates, or it could be it's bylaw time. Whatever the thing is, you now get the opportunity to instruct your assistant in doing this for you. And who do you become? The editor, the overviewer, the manager. You are now the decision maker in this. So still making sure that you go through everything, ensure, we said no EM dashes and there's an EM dash. You see, our assistant needs some help sometimes. Insert the link, whatever. Okay, what we can also do is, this is great. Create an image to go with post 4 and see what it comes up. You can also add it its own images. Oh, Copilot can't understand images right now? There must have been an update. It could. But anyway, you can now use these prompts to give to Copilot, to Canva, and say, please create the visual aspect, copy and paste this in Canva. And Canva AI will create this for you. Does that help? Anything. Awesomeness. Okay, so now we have done our work plan that AI helped us with. We have done our bylaw that AI has helped us with. We have done all of our staffing needs, the Q&A, the job descriptions, everything else that we might need that's documented for training purposes for our team. We have now done our social media for it. AI helped us with that. Let's see what is the next thing. So our site planning. AI can help us with our site planning. All right, well, how big is it? Where are we going to have our actual voting times? Give it upload a picture and say, give me a layout of what the best layout for this election would be. How could we set it up? What is the equipment list that we need? What is a flow plan that we could create on that? What are some of the accessibility needs that we have? So let's try it out. Create a layout of a voting place with 5 booths, check-ins, and a mail ballot drop-off. Okay, should we try that? No, go back. Not this one. Not this one. There we go. We go back to our Copilot. Okay, so we are using, so I just want to get it out of his head. So I'm going to start a new chat. Otherwise, he's going to go back into social media. That's why it is so important to rather have one agent per task. Because right now, if I continued with this one, it will be confused. It will give us more social media posts. So in our election agent, let's start again. Okay. We are making use of the church in Burns Lake for the local election venue. Create a flow for the venue, for the flow and venue and layout. And see what happens. Okay, accessibility, ensure that there's efficiency, entrance, registration, booth, ballot, exit. So now we got a nice layout where the registration area should be, how many voting votes. You would probably have to add that based on, or ask it, hey, we 500 people, how many voting booths should we have, which is approximate. Ballot station, exit. Signs. So here's a visual example. Boom. Is it church, interest hall, whatever. Now, does this help you a lot easier to set up the booth or the place? Is this now something that you can go to one of your juniors and say, hey, here's the layout. Please go set it up like this. You can now create this and again, take all this information and put it into Canva and say, hey, please create a visual for this. So now again, it happens in seconds. AI Canva will create a visual layout of entrance, registration table, ballots, booths, exit. Now we got our flow done. Awesome. Well, we are kind of 90 minutes into this workshop and all the planning is almost done. Now it's just execution for the whole elections for next year. Isn't it freaking insane? I need a yes, like a yes, because it's awesome. Yes. Okay, let's carry on. Okay, what's next? Okay, so we've touched our layout. Mail ballot automation. So again, this would be a lot easier if we use some of the Power Automate tools. So I'm not going to go into that in depth right now, but this will help with our tracking sheets, our reconciliation, our drop-off locations list, some of the secrecy sleeves instructions. Sorry. So what we would do in Copilot, making use of our Power Automate app, we'll say create a workflow for tracking issued and return mail ballots. This one is again a little bit more technical. It takes a little bit more time just to set up and to make it customized for your specific municipality. So happy to help with this at a later stage. I'm not going to go too deep into it right now, but this is how, or another aspect that AI can help us make our life easier. So what about now, a post-election? Now we're done, we're good. We've got our new council. Of course, AI can help us with our orientation packages afterwards again, and putting our presentations together for council. And what do they need to know? What is the privacy, training on privacy, just everything that we need to know. Copilot can now help us do that too. Even create a little video on it for council beforehand, just 30 seconds. Hey, this is what your orientation would look like. We're so excited and congratulations on being elected. All right, so Of post-election reporting. What I really like about Monday is what we can do now. As we filled out all the everything as we did it step by step by step, we can export that whole sheet, put it into Copilot, and say, please analyze and give me a report on this. So that's from the operational side of it, and we'll have a nice report. If we were able to do everything online and feed in some of the paper voting that we did, we are then also able to give all the information to Copilot and say, hey, please give me a report on what happened. Here's our template, upload our template. This is the format that I wanted it, and address it to our CAO. Retentions and reduction schedules. We can create our inaugural meeting packages, inspection materials, everything. Copilot can assist with every single step in our way as we work through the election process. It is all about how we prompt it and how do we want it to work for us. Does that make sense? Awesome. So, do we have any questions? And there's silence. Oh my goodness.
Daphne, I just want to confirm that you are going to send this material, right? So we can watch slowly.
Yes, I will send the presentation. I will send the link to the presentation. Well, not the
Thank you
presentation,
so
to the
much.
recording.
Thank you.
Did you find value in this? Amazing. So District of Mackenzie, let me just click on that, is asking, if you're not using Monday, how would you feed Copilot the information for the CA report? Well, you could use it through Excel. If you're keeping track of all your tasks on Excel, feed that into Copilot. If you make use of Planner, Microsoft Planner, you can export all of that information as well and feed it into Copilot again. Just make sure that whatever platform you use for this, that it is exportable in order to put it into Copilot. If you have the higher paid version of Copilot, usually those connections speak to one another because it's already Microsoft. Then you can use Microsoft Insights, V-Insights, and that will give you these type of additional insights as well. Make sense? I hope that helped, District of Mackenzie. Yeah. Yes, Denise.
So with the Monday.com, I'm assuming you're using some sort of a paid version, right? Like, does it?
So
it seems to have a free version too.
This is the free version.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, that's exciting.
It is, but this is the free one.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. Alice, I'm so glad you learned something too with the agent creations.
Yes.
Any other? So this, as we wrap up, I love, as you can see, I absolutely geek out on this. I absolutely love AI. So how would I like to support you and your municipality further is when you have a new council, I believe personally it is super important for councils to get AI training as well. And I can't remember who mentioned it, but that sustainability aspect of it is super important for council to understand as well. There is a stigma, you all know that, about council and AI and how it should be used, especially when they don't understand it. They make decisions on things that could affect us quite greatly. I had a council member previously saying that we should put on every single thing that we use AI for a disclaimer that we use AI. So I started asking the questions, all right, but how does that work? Because AI is physically in Windows 11 right now. It's everywhere. How do we disclaim this? And council would not back off on that. The only part that I personally, and this is just my personal opinion, is when we have to disclose AI is when we make decisions on it. Procurement, human resources, when it's those type of things. All right. That is when I believe it. So when council comes in, I would like to support your municipality in council training. If your team wants any other kind of council training as well, or staff training, love to be part of that. And of course, if you want to implement AI in your municipality as a further part of using it in your everyday, love to be part of that and help with the implementation as well. And I want to thank you guys for being here and for listening. May I also ask one extra question, if you don't mind? Can I please take a picture of all of us? I would really like that. I'm going to stop sharing. There we go.
Perfect. Just give me 2 minutes here and I'll wait for everybody's cameras to come on and I will
Okay with
take
it. You don't have to, but I would like to. Thank you. Sandra, I'm so glad you liked it. Thank you, Wendy.
We'll wait here. We have a couple more cameras coming on, so I'll
Awesomeness.
So I just want to thank everybody. Our president for the NCLGMA, she had a few technical glitches at the beginning, so she is now on and has been for the majority of it, and that's Deanne. We also have our vice president, Debbie, Ethan, our treasurer, Maureen, Bonnie, Tab, and Sue Lynn, our directors at large, are also on the presentation. We will definitely be sending out a link with Daphne's information, and I will pass it over to Deanne.
I just want to say thank you to Daphne for doing this presentation. It was great. I'm new to AI, but I honestly haven't even done a lot of research on it, but I'm definitely going to be doing some more. Anybody else from the board want to say anything? Okay, I'll hand it back over to Daphne.
Well, that is it, what I have for today. Again, thank you so much. I enjoyed it. So happy to see some of the other people that I've worked with before, like Bonnie. It's so good to see you guys. Yes. I hope you found it really interesting. Happy to help. And I really, really, really hope that this will make the elections a little bit easier on you guys.
Thank you so much.
Awesome, Daphne. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody, for attending.
That was great, Daphne. Thank you.
Do we just have the board on right now? Or is there more?
No, we have a few more. I'm just gonna